there? Do you feel like you've got the pieces where you?
Yeah, you know, I think the best part when you talk about your bigs is the ability to play a lot of different ways, defensively and offensively. Obviously, you got great size and strength with Russell and Byron Matos. Okay, I mean, you just look at them and they're both physical, big, strong players. You got a really good skill package in terms of shooting and plays with a little more bounce than maybe you think in Jake Boggs. Shot over 40% from the three last year. You know what I mean? You have the versatility of Sam Hines that can play multiple positions, kind of that new swing spot. Corey Walker's in that same boat. And then you got, you know, with Jalen McCrary at just a tad under 6'9", 230 pounds, a guy who's battled in the SEC for the last 2 years and has had some very, very productive games. You look at the last 3 games, he led them in scoring 2 out of the last 3 games, led them in rebounding all 3. So we have depth there, and and we have competition. Iron sharpens iron. Those guys are going to get better every day because of who they're going against in practice, which you hope will in turn then translate to performance on the court.
Is there a time frame on Sorrell? What's the?
It's the NCAA, so yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, all the stuff has been turned in, everything's in, so now they go through it and so forth. You know, you've seen other players around the country on their second transfer been granted that waiver and so forth. So we just kind of wait and see. You know.
What's the issue? That you play too many games?
No, see, again, there's a lot of people are so unaware of the rules. So the new rule is the one-time transfer exemption, right? That means if it's your first-time transfer, and if you're eligible at the school you're leaving, then you're immediately eligible at the next school, okay? Sorrell transferred from Maryland to East Tennessee State, so this is his second transfer. So according to that, you would have to have a traditional year in residency before you're eligible to play. All right? So what the waiver is, we're putting in a waiver for him to gain that immediate eligibility here, even though this is his second transfer.
And the reason you could get that approved is just they agree to it?
Yeah. When it comes to the reason why, I'm not really at liberty to discuss why.
You mentioned Jameer's probably taking the biggest step out of any of your returners. I mean, he had some pretty solid games, especially towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
Just what have you seen improve the most in him?
Well, you know, I think both him and Murphy have really made a commitment to getting into the gym and working on their overall skill level, shooting in particular, ball handling. So I would say both those guys have made big jumps. But the thing with Chap is shooting the ball much better, playing with greater confidence. Nobody got hit harder with COVID than he did. He had the hardest time getting back, where it took guys 2 or 3 weeks. It was a full month before he was back, and you saw a little bit of that those last 3 or 4 games of the season. But just a greater maturity level in terms of the daily approach, a greater comfort level in knowing, you know, that he's a key guy for us. I think with that comes some confidence. But I would say confidence comes from sweat. You know, putting in the time and working on your game, and I think he's done a great job of that.
Because of the way the last 2 seasons were, I mean, you were on the rise 2 years ago, and then the conference tournament got canceled. Last year was COVID, and it was like it's even hard to remember like that last season in a lot of ways. So, is it kind of like a total reset? It's like you're not really playing off of continuity of something that's happened. You're sort of this is point A right here.
Yeah, and I think college basketball players around the country were no different than everybody else. At the end of that last year, heading into the spring, I think everybody wanted to hit the reset button. You know what I mean? I think everybody did. I think last year was a frustrating year all the way around. Isolation, you know, think about it for our guys, getting tested 5 days a week. Every time you get tested, you're sitting there waiting. Do I have it? Am I going to be able to play? I mean, just the mental stuff going on was incredible. And you head into this year, and although we're not out of it and all that stuff, there is kind of a resurgence of positive emotion and energy. You know what I mean? I mean, I love college football. How great is it? You know what I mean? To see that, you know, and our guys feel that. You know what I mean? And our guys feel that. And getting new blood into the program helps that as well. Guys who are excited, guys who you know, have really bought in and doing all that. You know, so you wanna look at, you know, 2 years ago with the siege of injuries, and then we started playing really well at the end of the year, and you got the disappointment without the tournament, and then last year with all the ups and downs and different things like that. I think everybody is excited about the new opportunities that are in front of them. The biggest challenge is you got to take advantage of those opportunities. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of those. And when if things don't go well, you got to keep fighting through it. And that was that team 2 years ago that set the record for the most wins in the history of the program. Their resiliency was the thing that set them apart. You know, because you lost heartbreaking games as you're trying to build it back up. And I think this team has to figure that out as well. You know, because I think that's one of the greatest traits that you can have as a team, especially when you're looking at 30-plus games for, you know, in the season. So it's something that we got to keep working on.
Coach, could you talk about your coaching staff and how you guys gelled over the summer, and in particular what Coach Slay and what Coach Rowe bring to the table?
Yeah, you know, again, changes and opportunities and so forth. I think it's worked out very, very well. Took a long look and saw the changing environment in college basketball and felt that making some adjustments on the staff was going to be really good for everybody. Obviously, bringing Lou Rowe back to his home area has been tremendous for us. You know, his contacts in recruiting, his ability to coach, his ability to dig down deep with the players. He just got a great way about him. You know what I mean? And talks to everybody and is enjoyed by everybody, but can really coach. And so I think that was a great hire. And Jason Slay, although not super young, is a rising star in this business. You know, he just got it all, the total package in terms of recruiting contacts, ability to coach, the skill development, the time. Comes from a basketball family, both those guys do, you know what I mean? And then another big piece for us was bringing in David Land, our strength and conditioning coach. One of the things that I think affected a lot of teams last year was the inability to work with the strength and conditioning coach on a daily basis, you know, and so with his experience coming from Iowa State, prior to that at Virginia Tech, just brings a mentality that I think has been really good for our new guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, anything else, Coach?